Hi again. Today we're going to learn how to make roast pork, crispy pork belly Chinese style. This is a very simple recipe and I've made it numerous times, but this is an improved recipe. So there's no poking the skin, there's no salt crusting, and you don't have a smoky oven. So this is a recipe that I'm going to share with you today, and it is so simple. So let's go and see how to make this easy roast pork Chinese crispy pork belly. I also have 2 top tips up my sleeve, so stay tuned. Today I bought this piece of pork from the local butcher and I've asked him to remove the ribs. I will use the ribs and the fat for something else. I bought quite a big piece because every time I cook this, there's not much left over, so now I'm going to cook more. The first thing to do is to remove the hair from the pork skin if there's any, but this looks okay because it's from the local butcher. If there's any hair, especially if you bought it from the supermarket, just remove it. Let's weigh it and see. It's 2.25 kilo. For roast pork, it is good to have layers of lean and fat. This time the butcher has removed the ribs individually instead of in a sheet. There are already ridges on the meat. We're going to make some cuts on the meat. So I'm going to cut using the existing slits. We can also cut it straight across. This is to facilitate seasoning. For the rub, crush 1 teaspoon Szechuan pepper in a mortar and pestle. Put this in the bowl and add in 1 teaspoon of star anise powder and 2 teaspoons salt. For the skin, mix 1 tablespoon of salt and 1 tablespoon of bicarbonate of soda. We will also need 3 tablespoons of white vinegar, which we will use later. Spread the rub on the meat. Season it all over and rub into the slits. Prepare a baking sheet with a piece of baking parchment or greaseproof paper on top. Then flip the meat over. The skin side is now on top. Wipe off any traces of the rub from the skin. Then with a sharp knife and a ruler, I'm using a baking sheet as a ruler, ingenious idea, score the skin about 2 cm apart. The Stanley knife is good for this. Score only the skin and the fat and not the meat part. If you do so, the juice of the meat will flow out during baking and it will look a bit brownish. It will not affect the taste. Then spread the baking powder and salt mixture on the skin. We will leave it in the fridge to dry for about at least 24 hours or more preferably. After about 24 hours in the fridge, the skin is dry. If you bought your pork from the supermarket, there will probably be a lot of wet patches on the skin. This is because the meat from the supermarket contains a lot of water. Just dab the excess moisture from the skin. Sprinkle with more of the baking soda mixture if necessary. After 30 hours in the fridge, this is what it looks like. The skin is very dry. If there's moisture, just dab it off with a kitchen towel. We're going to remove the excess bicarbonate of soda mixture. Use a brush to brush it off completely. Place an aluminium foil over a baking sheet and transfer the pork onto it. The pork is uneven, so I'm going to show you a trick. I use root vegetables for this. Cut the carrot, potato or sweet potato and place it under the meat. An even slab of meat will enable the skin to be browned evenly. Trick number 2 is to insert skewers into the meat. I'm using 3 skewers as it is a big piece of meat. Trim off the excess skewers. Then fold the aluminium foil neatly around the edges, leaving the skin exposed. Brush the skin with the white vinegar. Make sure to brush the sides as well so that you'll take away the baking soda taste. You can hear sizzling because the baking soda is reacting with the vinegar. You can see bubbles too. Then we put it in the oven for 220 degrees Celsius for 20 minutes. And then 1 hour 15 minutes for 180 degrees Celsius. Here it is, but the skin doesn't look ready, so we're going to put it under the grill. This is under the grill for about 3 minutes. So we grill it again for a few minutes. So here is the one after I put in the grill for about 5 to 8 minutes. Yeah. The bubble is a bit thick this time and the color is a bit light. Let it rest for 20 minutes and remove from the foil. The root vegetables are now very delicious. Remove the skewers so that we can chop it up. Cut through the lines that we made earlier. Use a cleaver to chop instead of cutting because it's very crispy. Hear the crunch? Ooh, Polly is excited. Here are the pieces. Can you see the layers? I'm going to try another one. If you see any charred rind, just scrape it off. I'm serving it with a stir fry and garnishing it with spring onion and coriander leaves. A lashing of plum sauce, sweet chili sauce and hoisin sauce. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Yeehaw! I have leftovers, so I'm going to wrap it in foil and keep it in the fridge and I'll freeze it. This is the one that I made some time ago using salt and baking powder. Try not to overcook the pork because if it does, the fat will be rendered and the layers will break when cut. I've just had my dinner, roast pork and a stir fry and all the dips. So I hope you find this recipe useful. And if you find value in my video, please don't forget to click like and subscribe and share my video. So until the next time, until the next round, I'm Loretta Lee of Nyonya Recipe. Nyonya Recipe is a fine place for fabulous food and I share with you my food journey. I'll see you again. Thank you, 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 thank you.